Here's the truth: emotionally unavailable people don't just appear in your life. You actually co create their presence in your life. And you do that through your beliefs, your energetic set points, and your unconscious safety patterns. So, in today's episode, I am going to show you why this happens and, most importantly, how you can break that cycle so you can call in that aligned relationship into your life. And this relationship doesn't have to be the romantic kind. This can also apply to friendships, to clients, to any sort of relationship. We attract them all. So let's start here. Okay, how does attraction happen? Most of us think that we just got to be clear on what we want. We need to know what we want and it would appear. But that's not the case, right? You attract situations, things, in this case, people into your life through your energetic baseline. Now, what does that mean? Okay, what is an energetic baseline? You see, we are all energetic beings. We are made up of energy. And what makes our energy, what makes your unique energy is your beliefs, your emotions that are conditioned into your identity. So basically, let's say you identify yourself as a strong, independent woman. Now, where did that come from? That came from this strong belief system that you have that looks at yourself as this independent woman who is strong, who can do it all. Because you have that belief system, you show up as that person. You show up as that woman who is independent, who is strong. And this can apply in the other way as well, right? If you identify yourself as a soft, graceful woman, where did that come from? That also came from a belief system of looking at yourself as a graceful woman, as a soft woman, as a woman who probably knows her worth. And it's not always that this shows up in this uplifted, beautiful scenarios that I just described, like strong, independent, or a graceful woman. It could also show up in ways where you self sabotage, where you look at yourself like you are not good enough. So you show up as a person who is not good enough. So basically, what you strongly believe about yourself, what you strongly feel about yourself, creates your energetic baseline. And it's usually not general. So it's not that you have the same energetic baseline in all areas of your life. They could vary quite a bit in different areas of your life. You could be showing up differently in romantic relationships, you could be showing up differently in friendships, in professional relationships, and every other area of your life, or you could show up a similar way. It really varies from a person to person. It really varies on what your energetic baseline is in that area. So now that we are clear that we are attracting from our energy and not by just our desires and our wants, we can move on to look at this more clearly. Let's actually start with what could be the blocks. Okay, so the number one block is basically an energetic mismatch. So, what you desire might be very different from what you identify yourself to be. For example, you want to bring in a loving, emotionally available person, but your identity, you identify yourself as somebody who has to prove yourself. So, what type of relationship do you attract? You probably attract relationships and people where you are consistently proving your worth, letting them know how you are, why they should love you, why they should be there, rather than somebody who just receives, who receives a person who's emotionally available for them. You see, there is a mismatch from what you're desiring and what you have programmed your identity to be. And that programming, again, happens from what you believe yourself to be like, from what you think you are worthy. All of these terms, belief, worthiness, all of them stem from your thoughts. And it's not just one thought, it could be conditioned thoughts. Okay, so something that you probably picked up from a very young age, and you've been telling yourself again and again, this is who I am. So, what happens is it creates your identity, it becomes your energetic set point, and you attract from there. So, you attract people who match that energetic set point, who match that identity. So, how you look at yourself really matters because how you look at yourself dictates who you attract into your life. Now, let's move on to the next block, which could be unconscious safety codes. Now, these are safety codes that we have created internally, unconsciously, so we mostly are not aware of them. For example, you want to be seen. Okay, you want to be seen fully for who you are in a relationship. But you have this safety net built up internally that tells you that if you are fully seen, it is not safe for you. Because maybe when you were a kid, you showed your fun side, you showed your crazy side to somebody, and people laughed at you. And that kid put a meaning to that scenario, saying it's not safe for me to share who I truly am with the world because people would laugh. It would be unsafe for me. And you're riding your life with this belief that sharing myself fully with somebody means that it's not safe. So I am not going to show up fully. I am not going to share myself fully with somebody. I'm not going to be seen fully because it's not safe for me. And we could have multiple such safety codes that we have unconsciously created within. So it's your job to ask yourself, what could these codes be? What am I telling myself? Why can't I be seen fully for who I am? The next block is energetic leaks. Now, you're probably attracting people who don't meet you because you're probably meeting them more than you're meeting yourself. You see, people are mirrors and they mirror how you treat your own needs, boundaries, and truth. So, if you are not showing up for yourself, people are not going to show up for you also. So, these relationships that have been happening so far, use them as a mirror. Look at them for what they can teach you. Where are you not meeting yourself? What are your leak points? Because all of them are always a mirror. What can you learn for yourself? Where can you show up truthfully as yourself? What boundaries can you place into picture? Look at it. The next block could be an attachment to what feels familiar. You see, your body clings on to what feels normal. So for you, maybe normal is chaos. Okay. And when it comes to relationships, maybe you are painting this picture that this chaos is adds to the chemistry of our relationship. So I like it, which is not the truth. So start looking at things for what they are. What are you considering to be normal? What are you considering to be okay? Just because you have seen it many times, maybe you've seen it around you, and you've labeled them as normal, as an okay, or as familiar. Look at it for what it is, because that is definitely creating a block which we don't see in the first go. So those were four major blocks that shows up in relationships. And I ask you now to consciously make a shift. Look at those blocks. Which one resonate with you? It could be more than one. And look at them for what they are. Make a shift there. Make a conscious shift. Because to attract someone who fully meets you, you need to become somebody who fully meets themselves first. You need to embody this new person or this person that you desire to be. This person who has those types of relationships, who has those types of life. Start embodying that person. Understand that this person is probably not chasing, they are choosing. This person is not just hoping, but they know. This person is not proving, but they are receiving. Start cleaning up that internal frequency first. Look at how you are showing up. Look at what beliefs you have about relationships. Look at what you think you feel is worthy, you feel is normal. Look at those. And here's the best part of all of this: you can look at it and you can shift it. Because these beliefs, these assumptions are just that, they're just assumptions. They are not true, they are not permanent. What needed to happen is for you to understand why you're showing up this way, why certain things are happening. And by now, you do. You understand these come from certain types of beliefs, certain types of programming, certain types of thoughts. Look at them for that and choose. Choose to shift those beliefs, choose to shift those thoughts. That's where a change is going to come in. That's where your new identity is going to shift in. And this new identity is going to be a lot in alignment with your true desires, with what you truly want. To integrate this further, ask yourself these questions: what part of me still feels it's unsafe to be fully seen? Who would I attract if I believe that it's completely safe for me to be fully met emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually? Start with those questions. And if you want to take it further, you could also do a visualization. Visualize relationship where you feel seen, heard, and safe. Notice how you show up. What's your identity like? What are your beliefs like? What are your feelings like? Start your visualization there. And this would definitely help in integrating all of that together. The moment you shift your consciousness, your reality follows. And remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are an energetic match for. So create an energetic baseline that attracts, that truly attracts the desires that you want. And you don't have to attract from your past conditioning, from your past traumas. You can look at it for what it is, you can acknowledge it, and you can choose to move on. You could choose a new belief system. You could choose a new identity. You can choose a new way of being. And if this resonated, please feel free to share this episode with a friend, and I'll catch you in the next one.